Hello everyone. This is Rommel from URAC, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you here for joining this basic training about our OMIPPBX. So basically, we have prepared five contents for today's training. So first one is about equipment overview. The second one is about installation environment. Then we have the third is about basic configurations. Then the fourth one is registering IP phones and analog gateways. And the last one is about the logs and packet capture. Okay, so let's let's go with the first one. We will gather about OMIPPBX advantages. So as we all know, our OMIPBX is an all-in-one IP telephony system. It has a PBX recording and voicemail and fax over IP. So we support access to operator telephone network via analog trunk, digital trunk, and SIP trunk. So we provide seamless connectivity not only to the PSTN and analog terminals, but also to the IPP-based SIP trunks and SIP terminals. The second advantages we have is its flexible configurations of FXS and FXO ports. So here it's a full modular design. It's a hot swappable up to 96 FXS and FXO ports. Next advantages we have, it has a gigabit Ethernet ports. So actually we support from 10, 100 to 1000 Mbps Ethernet ports, that is for RG45. Next advantages we have is we do support an auto attendant with multi-level IVR. I can say that you can think of many different ways. There is no limit for our multi-level IVR. Next one is a multi-site application via IP tie trunks. You can connect branches with your main headquarters. So basically, all our OM series, we support up to full, I think 50 multi-site connections. The next one, it can be connected with NewLink to enable mobile extensions and PC extensions. So as we all know, we developed our NewLink. It is a digital collaboration platform. So basically, it provides users with one-stop collaboration and communication features. Next one, we provide open API interfaces to connect with the third-party application systems. We have XML that is HTTP-based API. So we have a unified open interface in our OM. We call it OM API, which basically allows to all developers that they can control, can monitor, and do statistics or analysis using the OM API. Then we do support failover to PSTN upon network failure. So with this feature, we make sure that in the event of power or network disconnection, it guarantees you to have to receive incoming calls. Then it supports dual network ports and dual AC/DC power supply redundancy. So basically, the OM80E and the large models, we do support power network redundancy. Then we have our class 1 3.5 kilovolt lighting protection. So we have a built-in surge protectors circuit in our devices. This is to against the lighting strikes or any electrostatic discharge that can ensure each line circuitry on the equipment that will be able to operate more reliable. The next one is it developed on Linux, more stable, reliable, and secure. So here, It is as we all know, OM IPPBX, we works with some popular SIP servers such as the Cisco, Broadsoft, and the Microsoft's Link, Huawei IMS, and the Asterisk and Elastics as well. Then we have our Neura Cloud platform. This is for device remote management, monitoring, and operation and maintenance. I think this is a big advantage of our OM because of this feature. I would say the technical guys, they don't have to go to the deployment sites. They just simply sit down on their chairs, then they can remotely access and control the devices that is having an issue. Then the last but not the least, it support Neurac UMS, our Unified Management System, as well as the third-party TR069 and the SNMP network management systems. So with regards to the large deployment of a large number of devices, you can obtain the real-time device status information. You can configure, you can do upgrade of the devices by batch. This is the main purpose is to have a management efficiency, and of course it reduce support cost. Okay, so those are the advantages that we have for our OM series. So let's go to our product when we talk about OM IPPBX series. So as you can see here, we have our OM20G up to our big brother, that is our OM8000. So for OM20G, it can support a concurrent calls maximum of 24 with the maximum numbers of 24 users. For OM50G, the maximum concurrent calls is 30 with the maximum numbers of 62. And of course, OM80E, if we require more than 200, the maximum concurrent call is 90, so we do support that for our OM80E. For the requirements that is below 1,000 but could be more than 400, we do offer our OM200G. That is a maximum of 496 users. And if you can double that size, so we have our new OM200G-A. Maximum number of user is 996 with a maximum concurrent call of also 120. Now, if you require more than 1,000 or 2,000 users, we have our OM1000UC. Maximum number of user is 1,000 and maximum concurrent call is 200. And if you want to double size the capacity, we have our OM1000A that you see a maximum numbers of 2,000 and maximum concurrent calls is also 200. Now, if you require for large enterprises, we have our big brother, the OM8000. Maximum number of users is 10,000 users and maximum concurrent call is 800. Okay, so let's go over about the equipment structure for OM20G. So here, this is the front panel. So as you can see, it's more on the LED status for power, STU, USB, the one PC port, and of course the FXS and the FXO ports. With regards to the back panel, so you can see here for the back panel, we have for the FXS and FXO ports. So FXS ports, actually this is for the RG11. They are used for connecting analog phones, for fax machines, or the POS machines. Now, if we have your FXO ports, they are used for connecting to the PSTN or to another PBX. Then we have our PC port used to connect to your computer. And of course, we have the one port used to connect to your LAN or to the Applet network. Then we have also the USB that is connecting for the USB device. And we have the console port. This is used for local management and testing. And we have the reset button here. So if you want to reset your device to the default settings, so you just simply press this one. And we have the power interface that is used to connect to the power supply. So by the way, for 20G and the 50G, we have provided a power adapter, so we highly recommend to use that. And of course, we have here the grounding terminal. So a grounding terminal is used for the grounding table to your grounding system. The next is our OM50G. So here, actually, this is just a bigger version, the OM50G. So still same, we have the power STU, USB, and one and the PC LED status. And of course, for the FXO and the FXS LED ports indicators. So at the back panel, so as you can see at the back panel here, this is for the FXS, and of course, this is for the FXS and FXO ports, and we have here also same as the FXO and the FXS ports. So same functions as previously mentioned, that is, if you want to connect with the PC, so you have to do connect with the PC port. And for the one port for the uplink network, yeah, and we have also the console port, the reset button, and the power interface, and of course, the grounding terminal. So let's go to the enterprise devices we have. The first one is our OM ATE. So this is the front panel of our OM ATE. This is the LED matrix. So basically, when you turn on the device, it will show you that this one, it shows a steady green. It means that you're using the FXS. And if there's a blinking green at the first 10 seconds of powering up, that it refers to the trunk line. So upon powering in, and there's no LED indicator here, it means that there is no line detected. So basically, you have to check if the power cable is properly connected or not. Then we have also a glittery letters for that. And of course, for the back panel here, as you can see, this is an example of the DC power socket here. So you can input of negative 48 VDC power. And of course, we have the ETH1 and ETH2 ports. So this supports 1000 Mbps, and they share one IP addresses. So here we have also the console port. If you want to use for local management and debugging purposes, you can use this one. And of course, for USB, you can also insert a USB port here. And we have the reset button. And of course, we have the indicators for the power, STU, and alarm is found on the back panel of your device. So this is for the DC power source, and if this is for the next one is for the AC power source. So AC power source, yeah, basically we support from 100 to 240 volts. Okay, so yeah. Next one is the OM200G. So this is the front panel of the OM200G. As you can see here, it indicates slotted, no? It's a modular for our OM200G. So you can swap, it's a fully modular. You can swap the FXS and FXO port module. So according to your requirements, so you can have that. And of course, you can see here, this is the back panel for the OM200G. So we have here the reset button, the console port, and of course, you have the ETH1 and the ETH2. So as you can see, we support from 10 to 100 to 1000 Mbps. And we have the, yeah, for this is for the power source. So basically, if you have two power source, we support dual power. So we have you A and B. So in this instance, only one. So A part is showing the indicator here. Then the system status for STU and alarm at the back. So basically, when we talk about alarm, it means that maybe it's blinking red, it corresponds to the front panel, no, the LED matrix. So we have that. So if blinking red, usually there's a C letter here, if there's an E letter here and the T letter, so it's generated here for the alarm category. And if all of this is steady red color, it means that the message here could be D on the dot matrix generated on this letter here. So it means that if all of this is red, it means that the device is starting in a failure stage. No? So C stands for, I think, conflict of IP. Then if there's a network error, it's letter E will display here. Okay, so let's move to the next structure for our OM1000 UC. So this is the front panel of our OM1000 UC. So here we have the LED indicator. So we have the power, STU, and alarm. So this one is a dual power. So you have indicator here. Then we have the console port. Of course, we have the reset button in the front. And we have the ETH port here. So basically, we have the ETH1 and the ETH2. And of course, we have the SD card. At the back panel, it usually is only the ground terminal and the power source. So let's move to the, this is the dual power. So only have the dual AC. Okay, so here we have the OM8000. So this is the front panel of OM8000. So this is the latest IPPBX for NURAC. It offers a converged solution, no? So usually for telecommunications, that requires up to 10,000 extensions or number of users with 800 concurrent calls. So this is the back panel for that one, for the SX OM8000 IPPBX. Okay, so I think we need to